So you're wondering where the stock market may go from here. Well, over the last two trading sessions in the US indices and a whole bunch of stocks have had significant breakouts. And I'm going to go through the US indices now, and I'm also going to go through a handful of stocks just to show you what I mean. But before I do that, I have to tell you that everything that I cover here in my analyses today is for educational purposes only, and that past price performance is not indicative of future price performance. So let's get into it. I'll just share my screen with you, and we'll start on the first stock. So, well, the first index. The first index is the S&P 500. Now, my charts go back about we're going back to beginning of 2022, so about 18 months. What I do in my analyses is dotted or full rectangles, as you see at the top over here, mean all-time highs. So the S&P 500 made an all-time high, and then that becomes a resistance zone. And the blue are also resistance, support, or resistance zones. The blue rectangles, then obviously I've got trend lines, which I'm sure most of you will be aware of. So what is the breakout that I'm talking about here? Right-hand side, you can see 2 sessions breakout resistance. Now, I did do a session on Wednesday up to Tuesday, the 11th data, July, that is, 11th of July. And we were talking about where price action might go from here. We had jumped up to resistance. We had higher lows, but we had some short-term resistance here. And that could have been a double top forming. And that's what we spoke about. We had to see where the price action went from there. It's pretty quickly broken out to the upside. And that is significant. That's a significant breakout I'm talking about. But that's not just on the S&P 500. It's also on the NASDAQ composite. And you can see the breakout there as well. Clear resistance, certainly higher lows. And there's the previous all-time high on the NASDAQ composite. And you can see the channel, the trend channel, upward trend channel, and the breakouts as well. These downtrending trend lines that you see here are breakouts that have occurred, breaking the downtrend. So, and you can see the NASDAQ here. This is a relative strength comparative line, a ratio between the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. NASDAQ outperforming S&P 500 as well as the S&P 500 is doing, which is indicative of a growth period that we're in. So we're in a primary bull market within a secular bull market. I'm not going to explain secular bull market here. You can go and watch other videos on my YouTube channel to find out about that. So now let's look at the NASDAQ 100. Look how much closer the NASDAQ 100 is to its all-time high, which occurred back here. You can look at the date on your screen, and there is a clear breakout. Quite a strong resistance zone here, uptrend. It's all happening in the breakouts. Let's go and have a look at a handful of stocks. As I said I would, this is a DHI, Delta Hotel Indigo, and a breakout. There's the all-time high. Breakout occurred. First time over there, failed, fell back into the range, met support on this upward trending channel, which these are parallel lines over here. I use a median line, a dotted median line in the middle of the channel. That's the way I do my analysis. And a little bit of resistance here, breakout. It's a pretty consistent theme that you're going to see. NVIDIA, the same. There is the previous all-time high. Trend's been going for some time. Resistance here, breakout above. These are new all-time highs these stocks are making. Never been up here before. Uncharted territory, which is indicative of a primary bull market within a secular bull market, which are the conditions that we have at the moment. Here's another one, Lenmark Corp. Breakout, all-time high occurred there, was the first breakout, came down, clear, just about down to the previous resistance area, and then a breakout to the upside. This is strong price action. Here's another one, Fortinet, breakout, all-time high. Now, these are just the stocks that I follow, and I haven't gone and analyzed the whole market, but you can certainly do that yourself. Here's another one, PHM, Pilter Group, Building Group, breakout to new all-time high, came down roughly to just above, which is really strong price action if it doesn't go all the way down to the previous all-time high, and continued on its merry way up. Have a look at a couple that aren't at new all-time highs, that are having breakouts below their all-time highs and going through relatively strong resistance zones. Salesforce is one, a little bit of resistance here, a bit of a symmetrical triangle over there, which is a continuation pattern in the uptrend, breakout. Here's another one, Entes, NetEase, a Chinese stock listed in the US, uptrend breakout. It's a bit of a messy resistance support zone over there because it gets above and below. So it's a bit of an average support resistance zone and not a stronger breakout as the others, but also, remember, not an all-time high as well. Here's another one, JP Morgan, quite a strong resistance zone here, which was previously a support zone. Look at all the times it attempted to get through, breakout. Now, not all of these are going at the same gradient. You can look at the gradient of the channels that I've got on here, and you can see which ones have got steeper uptrends and others not so steep. Here's Amazon, quite a strong resistance zone here, not a strong breakout yet. We'll see what happens there, but still a breakout, lots of resistance over here, indecision in these sideways moving bars for a couple of weeks, breakout. Here's the last one we'll look at. I think you're getting the point. Here's one that is pretty oversold, Align Technology, ALGN, and strong resistance. There was a gap down over there. It's filled the gap. Another gap up over here, didn't continue, resistance, upward trend, and a small breakout over there. So that is that's what's happening with stocks. It's indicative of a bull market. And what I'm going to do now is turn off the analyses and just turn on our mechanical system. And I'm just going to show you where the alerts occur. This is a volatility-based trading stop breakout system that we have researched, and it's a unique proprietary algorithm. There is the entry signal on the S&P 500, occurred back in April, 27th of April. And what happened on the NASDAQ? Well, that came a bit earlier. That occurred back in January of this year. So the NDX, the NASDAQ 100, back in also January this year, I think it is. Now, and the same appears on stocks as well. So there's DHI. I'm not going to go left and zoom in and out, but you can see that its entry signal occurred well before it went through its reached its all-time high, and it's off the left of the chart. Nvidia, the entry signal occurred late last year. So these are stocks that are leading the market, and there's a whole bunch of laggards still coming. I shouldn't say laggard, they're not all laggards, but that's what happens. A few go first, and then others come. Now, we're not in a raging bull market yet by any means, and this market's climbing a wall of worry, as it always does. Every bull market climbs a wall of worry, and there's always going to be negative news out there. And that's why the way we go about this is with consistency and objectivity and unambiguous entry and exit signals. So we don't practice generic technical analysis in our with our mechanical system, our rules-based system, but obviously you have to know quite a bit about technical analysis to be able to create and design and develop a technical analysis based or a momentum based or a trend following based system. So I'll leave that there, and we'll continue our story of how the market unfolds in this What's Up with the Markets playlist that we're going to keep updating.